All right, everybody, come on in, come on in. Welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. It is Foodie Fridays with Maggie on Food Talk TV. I am Maggie, the substitute teacher, and today we are making spaghetti squash. So if you're looking for something warm and comforting, maybe a little bit low carb, this could be a good option for you. Make sure you are subscribed to Food Talk TV, the home of the longest running live cooking show on TikTok. So we're going to go a little bit out of order today because we need to prep our spaghetti squash. I'm going to go ahead and get that in the oven. I'll show you all what the finished product is supposed to look like, and then I am going to go back to the beginning. So this is the finished product, all right? So we're gonna cut our spaghetti squash in half, and we need to roast this in the oven. So I need to preheat the oven, go ahead and get it cut in half and greased up and ready to go. All right, then we're gonna work on the middle and all that good stuff. So think of this as like a spaghetti bowl with squash, all right? So come on in. If you like this type of content, you can go ahead and tap the screen. We have 3 likes. Thank you all for liking the stream. And let's go ahead and get started. Let me get my uniform on, and we are going to get cooking. If you are into really savory recipes, then today is your day. If you are team savory, and if you're looking for something that's going to give you that I don't know, Italian flavored vibes. I have so many ideas in my head. You could do this with a red sauce. This one is going to be kind of like an Alfredo sauce. Apparently this went viral on TikTok. So we are going to try and recreate it here. Let me get myself together. And I am your substitute teacher because I cook with sugar substitutes, dairy substitutes, and gluten substitutes. Keelan says, can I help you cook? Come on in. I love cooking with you all. For this recipe, you're going to need an oven, a cutting board, a stove, and a squash. So this recipe, as well as all my recipes, is on foodtalktv.com. You can also use your favorite Amazon device and ask it to open up Food Talk TV, and all of the creators, including me, and our recipes are going to be there for you all right? So come on in, everybody. So again, this recipe is cooking with Kiona, and I will start the video, but this is the goal. We want to make a TikTok spaghetti squash. Apparently this went viral a year ago, but I had most of these ingredients, so I want to go ahead and get it started. All right, so we're going to clean off the counter. I'm going to wash my hands, and then we're going to cut into this squash. Happy Friday, everybody. You can share this recipe with all of your favorite home cookers like me. I am not a professional chef. That will become very clear. I mess up all the time. And there's also a Facebook group called Whisk Takers. You can share your favorite recipes and cooking creations along with anything else that's on your mind in Facebook. All right. So come on in, everybody. We are at 7 likes. Thank you all so much for being here. Tap that screen. Hello, Jeanette. We are going to be cutting some spaghetti squash in half. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this wet paper towel down after I dry my hands, and then we are going to get the cutting board out and a sharp knife. This can be dangerous, but I read a hack to cut the spaghetti squash doing it lengthwise. Hi, thank you so much, Ellie from Finland. I've never been to the Nordic countries. That's on my list. I definitely want to go there. Thank you all so much for being here. Come on in, everybody. Welcome. This is Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I am Maggie, the substitute teacher. We're putting our cutting board on the wet paper towel. It will keep it from slip sliding away. All right, so again, this is the goal. So I have 2 spaghetti squash, one that looks a little bit suspect and one that actually looks pretty good. So this is what we're gonna try and make. Patty, thank you so much for the love. We're at 250 likes, you all, thank you. So this is a spaghetti squash. I got 2 of these in the giveaway boxes. One looks a little bit suspect and this one looks okay. So they're small, they're about the size of, I don't know, like a small eggplant, but we're gonna wash these and then we're gonna cut them in half. Jeanette says you love spaghetti squash, good. So I wasn't really keen on, I didn't know much about it, but the reason they call it spaghetti squash is you all will see once we cut into this, it actually has strands that kind of come off like spaghetti. So this is a wonderful low carb recipe for anyone who's trying to do that. And then also, you know, if you're gluten free and you need to avoid the grains, this can be an option for you too. Thank you all so much for being here. Hello, Fran Diego. Also, if you are trying to cut some of the calories and cut some of the starches, this will work for you. So what I'm going to do, the recipe says that we need to preheat the oven to 400. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's make sure that it's empty. Okay, so we're going to do a bake at 400. So with this recipe, your spaghetti squash is actually going to be the bowl as well as the noodle. All right, so we're going to cut this lengthwise. Now, usually, let me get a sharp knife. Usually what I've done and what you see people do is go in from the top and then go down. That's an option, but you got to be really careful whenever you have something that'll roll. Let me give you all the side by side. Hello, everybody coming on in here. Forgot about you all. Thank you so much for being here, Erin, Laura. All right, so usually what you see people do is go down with the knife and then cut around this way, but you want to be careful, especially if you're new at cooking. When you have anything that can roll, it can be dangerous. So I read somewhere on the internet that if we cut and make a flat surface like this, then I'm going to put this flat side down, and you see now we have the flat surface. It's stable. So I'm going to try and carefully, let me still do it. Oof, y'all, it makes me nervous. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go straight down the middle with the blade away from me. All right, safety first. Okay, perfect. So you can see here, we have these strands inside, and even though it hasn't been cooked, you can kind of see those little fleshy strands. So we're going to get a spoon and we're going to spoon that out, because what we want is the fleshy part. We're already at 2,200 likes. Come on in, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I am Maggie the Substitute Teacher, and today we are making a viral TikTok spaghetti squash. This is the goal. All right, we are going to play a video, but I have to start by getting the squash in the oven, and that's later on in the video. All right, so that is the goal. Let me leave this here for you all so you can see. All right, so let me get a little bowl for our seeds. So I am going to spoon these out and I'm going to dispose of them. But if it's fall time where you are, you could roast these with a little bit of, I don't know, oil, salt, and pepper. And you could make like roasted squash seeds. I don't know, does anybody have any ideas what you would do with the seeds? And you all can see as I'm scooping up here, you see how, and this is raw. This isn't even cooked. Once it's cooked, it's going to be so much easier to get out. But you see how it's giving you that stringy, like noodle consistency. So if you like an angel hair pasta, this could be a great substitute for you. Hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for being here. And I am Maggie, the substitute teacher, because I cook with sugar substitutes, dairy substitutes, and gluten substitutes. So I'm just trying to get the seeds out. This is something the kids could help with. I definitely believe in getting everybody in the kitchen. My mom is a retired home economics teacher, and she taught me and my brother. She still cooks, and so that's what I do. All right, so I didn't get all of it out. I'm just going to get all of the seeds, but I want to keep that noodly flesh, and I'll show you all what it looks like. Some people do this and theirs is really clean. I already told y'all over here we struggle cook, but somehow it all comes out pretty good. Okay, so you can see this is the inside. Hello, we got Kaz in the house. Thank you all so much for being here. We're at 3,500 likes. Come on in, everybody. We are making a viral spaghetti squash today. So you can think of any type of pasta dish. We're going to do like a ground turkey with spinach and a struggle Alfredo sauce. But you could also do this. This would be a great recipe if you have leftover pasta sauce and you don't want to do noodles. If you don't have noodles, again, notice how just getting in there, it's giving us those nice stringy strands, and they're just going to come out so easily. So we're going to roast these in the oven. I've got the oven preheating at 400. So come on in, everyone. We're at 4,200 likes. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I am Maggie, the substitute teacher, and we are making spaghetti squash bowls. I actually have 2 spaghetti squash. This recipe just shows 1, but since we're going to have the oven on, I want to go ahead and do both of them. This could be a good meal prep option as well. So I've got the seeds out, and I want to do the second one. All right, so the technique worked pretty well. Babs loves squash. Come on in, everybody. Hello, Gilchrist. Thank you so much for being here. So good to see everybody. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie, the substitute teacher, and we're making spaghetti squash bowls. So far, all we've done is cut it in half, so you haven't missed much. I'll show you again. So if you see these in the produce section and you're like, what in the world is that? Sometimes squash can be intimidating. I know I was intimidated if you really don't know what you're doing, which is most of the time me. But I'll show you all what I did. So you just want to have a sharp knife. Let me go ahead and toss the top, but our technique worked. So we're just going to take off the top of the spaghetti squash, and the flesh is pretty tough. So you want to make sure, ouch, you want to make sure that you have a sharp knife. All right, so we've made a flat surface here. I'm going to put the flat surface down, and then I'm just going to go directly from the top with the blade away from me. All right. Jeanette says, what is tonight? If y'all are just coming in, this is the goal. We are making spaghetti squash bowls. All right. So we need to roast the squash first. So we're in the beginning, and then we're going to make the inside and put it all together. So you haven't missed anything yet. I'm going to go straight down. Put the blade away from me with a flat surface for stability, and we cut our squash in half. Perfect. All right, let me go ahead and scoop out the middle. We're preheating the oven to 400 degrees. We're going to get these greased up and seasoned up, and then we'll get them roasting while we do everything else, because these need to roast. I think she said for like 45 minutes. I was like, oof, that's a long time. Now I have done spaghetti squash in the microwave. If you don't have an oven or you don't want to take the time to roast it for 45 minutes, you can microwave it, I don't know, for like 15 or 20 minutes. But they say when you microwave it, it's more watery. Look, I say do whatever works for you, especially if you're traveling or you don't have access to an oven. You know, sometimes we have truckers, we may have nurses, we may have students. So just giving you all lots of different options as we scoop out the seeds of our spaghetti squash here. We're going to go ahead and make both of them. So this is going to give us 4 bowls because one spaghetti squash is giving us 2 halves. So we cut these lengthwise. I've also seen recipes where you cut the spaghetti squash crossway and then you have like a bowl, think of like half of a cantaloupe. Ah, so good. Butter and spaghetti. Yes, those of you all who like your pasta noodles plain, that's an option for you too. So I'm just using a spoon. Pretty simple, and getting the seeds out just like you would carve a pumpkin. All right, so I had 2 of these lying around, and that's where I get my recipe inspiration from. This one is coming from Cooking with Kiona, and as always I will show you all my substitutes. But the first time I make a recipe, I try to do it exactly like they did, but I'll talk you all through some of the substitutes and show you some of my substitutes if you need to make it sugar-free, dairy-free. This is already gluten-free because there's no pasta noodle. Okay, so we have our 4 halves here, and I'm gonna toss these, but I guess you could roast them and salt them. I used to like that when we used to do pumpkins for like pumpkin seeds. I'm sure there's some good snacks available there. All right, come on in, everybody. We're at 8,000 likes. Thank you all so much. Welcome. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. Thank you for liking the live stream. We are making spaghetti squash bowls. Okay, so now I'm going to move my cutting board because I'm going to get the sheet pan ready, and I'll show you all how we're going to get these seasoned up. All right, spaghetti squash by itself is pretty neutral. It does have a slight sweetness to it, but you want to make sure that you season at every step. That way when you combine it together, it's amazing. All right, come on in, everybody. So we have a sheet pan here, and I have some aluminum foil. I'm sure you could do parchment paper, or you don't really have to do anything at all. Let me see if our wet paper towel works on the cutting board too, so it doesn't, on the sheet pan too, so it doesn't move around as much. I know there's 2 sides. Someone let me know. Cat Dog says you saw someone make these with chunks of fresh salmon. That sounds amazing. So however you like spaghetti, some of you all like a seafood spaghetti. Some of you like a traditional spaghetti with like marinara and meat sauce. This is going to be kind of an Alfredo version if you like a white spaghetti. But yes. All right, so now I'm going to start the video and I'm going to move to the point where she's actually doing the squash. And then we'll follow this step by step. This one is about a 9-minute video, so I'm going to be playing and pausing it. Okay, so let me show you all what we've done so far, and then we're going to get these in the oven. All right, let me play. All right, so you're going to see how, let me turn the music down. All right, so she's cutting it the way most of us do, going down by half. So if you're going to cut your spaghetti squash this way, just be careful because once it rolls and you have a sharp knife, a cat dog says the foil is the same on both sides. Okay, so you see she's opened up her spaghetti squash. Let me turn the brightness down so you all can see. All right, and we just did this section. All right, so we just scooped out. Fran Diego says you would like butternut squash with butter and brown sugar. All right, so she's getting hers scooped out really clean. Hers look better than mine. Mine are still a little stringy, but I don't mind. All right, so she's doing one squash, which is 2 bowls.
When you're finished, place the spaghetti squash on a baking sheet lined with tinfoil.
All right, let's do that. Let's go ahead and get these on here. Actually, I'll do it this way. And we are going to have them open face up to season them. Oh, the oven is ready. All right, let's get going. We're going to have them open face up to season them, and then we're going to put them face down when we cook them. So she's putting olive oil.
Next, brush olive oil on both halves of the squash.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Let me grab some olive oil. You can actually use any oil of choice, but you know, a good quality oil will give you good flavor. Usually I use the MCT oil, which is the coconut oil. It doesn't have too much of a coconutty taste. All right, so I'm just using olive oil. I'm gonna pour it in here into the little basin. And then I'm gonna get a pastry brush just like she did. And we're gonna brush the olive oil all on the inside and then as well on the rim. All right, come on in everybody. We're already at 12,000 likes. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie the Substitute Teacher, and today we're making spaghetti squash bowls. All right, so let's go ahead and give these a rinse. All right, so I'm just going to take the pastry brush and I'm just gonna go in and around the rim of the squash. The oil plus the heat will give you a nice little browning. So you can see it's greased up nicely. We're gonna do that on all 4. All right, so this is just olive oil once we've cut them in half. And we have scooped out most of the seeds. I still see a few, but it's okay. A few seeds won't hurt you. All right, so to measure all the measurements and everything is in as at foodtalktv.com, but let me see if I can tell you all her measurements. Does she have the oil? She doesn't have the oil on here, so just enough to grease it up. If you want to be even lighter, you could do a cooking spray. Thank you so much, Beauty, for the love and the support. You could do a cooking spray if you want to keep it really light on the calories. If I had to measure this, I'd say it's probably a half of a teaspoon of oil in each one. All right, so come on in everybody. Thank you so much for being here. So we've got them greased up. Let's see what she does next. All right, we just did this step.
Now season the squash with your favorite seasonings. I used seasoned salt.
I'll get them all. Salt, pepper.
Onion powder. And garlic powder.
All right. So 4 of the 5 basic seasonings that you should have: salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. Or if you have a favorite all-purpose seasoning, you can use that too. I would probably lean with something that's going to taste good with like Italian cuisine, so maybe an Italian seasoning or a basil or an oregano, but we're going to go basic, all right? Salt and pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And you know, just like you're going to salt your noodles when you cook them in the pasta water, you want to make sure that we salt basically our spaghetti squash is going to be our noodle. So you want to season it, I would say generously, because this is, you know, pretty much a vegetable. And that's the thing with vegetables. Sometimes when people say I don't like vegetables, it's because they aren't really seasoned well for their liking. So we're going to go in with the pepper. Hopefully I don't sneeze. I got my struggle fan on. Come on in, everybody. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie on Food Talk TV. All right. So far we have salt and pepper. Thank you all so much for being here on a greased up spaghetti squash, onion powder, and garlic powder. All right. So you should have those. Really simple: garlic powder and onion powder. So we've talked about this before. The 5 seasonings that you should have in your kitchen if you're a beginner: salt and pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika. You know, I have a whole shelf of seasonings, but those are the ones that you're going to use time and time again. All right, come on in, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. We're at 17,000 likes. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie, the substitute teacher, and today we are making spaghetti squash bowls. So I've got these nice and seasoned so you all can see, and this is what's going to go into the oven. Let's see what she does next.
Next, flip each half of the squash over and then use a fork to poke holes into the squash.
All right. The reason we're going to do that is because I don't know, I'm not a real chef, don't believe me, but I think, let me get a fork, it's to release some of the steam. Does anybody know why we're poking holes in it? I think it's either for the steam or the moisture. So I'm turning them over, open side down after we season them. And then let me just turn this lengthwise. And I'm just going to go along the spine just like she did. So we're just going to go in with a fork. What do y'all know? Thank you all so much for being here. Dee says you missed that part. Yeah, I think it allows some of the steam to escape, just like a baked potato. So when we lift these up, there's not like a pool of water in there. I think that's what it is. But honestly, I don't know, and neither do y'all. But like I said, the first time I do a recipe, I'm gonna do it like they do it. All right, I'm just doing 4 holes along each of the spine. I need to take my brush off of there so we don't bake that. All right.
When you're finished, place the squash in the oven at 400 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get those in. Now we need to start working on the actual sauce, or some of you all say sauce. I'm gonna do 1 more hole in each one, just towards the back. All right, so come on in, everybody. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I am Maggie, the substitute teacher, and we're gonna put our spaghetti squash in the oven, and I'll actually turn on the timer. Y'all know I'm always forgetting. So let's turn on the light. Oven is at 400, and I'm gonna put them down at the bottom. She cooked 2. You love this with Parmesan and garlic? Yeah, that sounds really yummy. Absolutely. Since I'm doing 4, let's see. Hopefully it doesn't take too much longer. Okay. So we're gonna let those roast, and we'll put the timer for 35 minutes. If you have the oven on, I usually don't cook with the oven, but now would be a great time. If you have other veggies, zucchini, onion, tomato, peppers, you could just rough chop them, put them on a pan, use the same 4 seasonings. You love the texture of spaghetti squash? It's not 400 no more, Danielle? What temperature is it at? You tell me. But you could go ahead and roast all your veggies down for the week. And that way you have veggies ready to go, so you don't have to think about cooking them. Okay, so let's clean up, everybody, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. Again, if you're just coming in, let me show you all the goal. These are the spaghetti squash bowls, all right? Dee Dee says it releases steam and helps prevent it from being mushy. I thought so. So this is the goal. This is what we're going for. So we got our squash inside the oven. Now we need to make the inside part, all right? So I'm going to show you all some substitutes. So far, so good, everybody. We're at 21,000 likes. Thank you all so much for coming in. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie, the substitute teacher. I make food and femininity content, and today we're doing spaghetti squash bowls. So you can think of whatever ingredients you like in your spaghetti. You could do, I don't know, like a shrimp scampi. Anything you would use a noodle for would work. All right. So let's go ahead and we are going to do some more cutting. We need to do some tomatoes and stuff, but let me just clean off the counter since we, sprinkled some seasonings, and then we're going to continue right on. We didn't have anything raw, but my mom says clean as you go. Sunflower says you have a spaghetti squash. You're ready to go. Hopefully you can try this tomorrow. Absolutely. And I love that, especially, ingredients are expensive. So it's good when you find random ingredients in your kitchen, go ahead and use them and try and make these recipes or a version of this recipe so you don't waste money buying things you don't need when you have stuff in the fridge. All right, rant off. So let's continue from the beginning now, and we are going to watch how she makes her.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral TikTok spaghetti squash, so let's get started with the video. We're going to begin by preparing our ingredients. First, dice half an onion.
All right, so she says dice half an onion. I have a whole onion, and I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. I like onion, and I have my little chopper. So we're going to go ahead and get our onion prepped. Let me turn the cutting board over. And we'll get this ready to go. So we're going to do everything from scratch, but if you have some veggies, especially if you already have some veggies like in the fridge that are halfway used, this would be a great way to use them up. Until you use me up. Deborah says you have squash left in the garden. Absolutely. Okay, focus, Maggie. We need an onion. Oh, I have it here. And I have my little chopper. Okay, y'all know I love my little gadgets. So she says half of an onion, but I'm going to go ahead and do the whole thing. So let's take I'm going to go ahead and dice the whole thing. I mean, you may not have to use the whole thing, but to me, it's like, if you're going to dice it, if I'm going to put myself through it, let's go ahead and use it up. Then you could have diced onions left over if you're making, I don't know, a stir fry or a saute or an omelet or something later. You have all your veggies prepped and ready to go. Come on in, Meg is here. Thank you all so much for being here. We're at 23,000 likes. If you like Italian-inspired cuisine, I'm not going to say this is authentic because what do I know? I'm just a mom on the internet, and we're trying to make this struggle recipe together. You can go ahead and share this recipe by clicking the share button and tap the screen if you like what we've done so far. And all we've done so far is get our spaghetti squash in the oven. Okay, so I have this little manual chopper. It's got a little blade in here. I especially like this for onions because, if onions make you cry, all we're going to do is like a rough chop. Half, half, and half. Literally just quarters. You're loving it? Thank you, Dee Dee. And we're going to put our onion pieces in here. All right. I have a little bit of a stem. I don't think it's going to bother anything. But, when you see the root, or as we call it in the South, the root, I just want to get that off. It's not the end of the world. I'm sure it's fine. Okay. And then my little chopper has a string here which will turn the blade. And the more you pull it, the more it dices. I use this for a lot of stuff. Peppers, all kinds of stuff. So especially if you're getting the kids in the kitchen or you're not really good about your... Deborah says, I'm crying already from cutting one for pizza. I love this. Amazon. Hold on, y'all. See? I'm always doing stuff. There we go. Whew, the first one to get it started. All right, so you can see, is 4 enough? That looks pretty good. Let's just do a couple more. All right. So that's an easy way to kind of dice our onions. Is it perfect? No. Now I can see a couple more roots in here. I'm just going to get them out. And we have our onion ready to go. So if you hate prepping your veggies, this could be a nice little time saver. I'm just gonna keep the top on this so that we don't have the onion fumes going all over. Happy Friday, Forge. Come on in, everyone. We're at 25,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 2750. See if we can get to 2750. All right, so we've done that. Let me just wash my hands before I touch my eyes. We're making spaghetti squash rolls. We got Bria in the house. Thank you so much for being here, my dear. Happy Friday to you. Come on in, everybody. All right, so we've got our onions done.
Next, cut 1 cup of cherry tomatoes in half.
All right, so we're gonna cut our cherry tomatoes. So I did also have some cherry tomatoes. We have a question from Dee Dee. She says, isn't the squash supposed to be turned over? We turned it over to season it, but in the oven, it is face down. And I believe even when you do it in the microwave, you're gonna do it face down as well. All right, we did poke some holes, so hopefully the steam will come out. But let's get our cherry tomatoes. Y'all notice everything, I love it. Okay. And if you don't like tomatoes, use the vegetables that you do like. This could also be, you know, I love, what do you call them? Assembly meals, especially if you have picky kids. Everybody can make their spaghetti bowl the way that they want it. But I did have some cherry tomatoes in the fridge and we don't want to waste. So she said a half cup. I feel like doing more than that, but let's see. Yeah. So if you're following along here, we were supposed to dice half of an onion. I did the whole onion, and then 1 cup of cherry tomatoes halved. So let's do like that much, and we're gonna cut them in half. Now this is kind of tedious. There are little hacks on how to cut a lot of cherry tomatoes at once, but we're just gonna do the old-fashioned way. Plus we got time, we're roasting our spaghetti squash, and it gives me time to hang out with you all. Come on in, everybody. We made it to 28,000 likes. Thank you all so much. Welcome. This is Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I am Maggie the Substitute Teacher, and we are making spaghetti squash bowls. All right, so we have our spaghetti squash in the oven, and then we need to cut our cherry tomatoes in half. Thank you all so much for being here. So we're just gonna do these one by one. I have seen some videos where you can line them up between like plastic lids and kind of cut through the middle, if that works for you. But you know, sometimes cooking for me is really therapeutic. I think we all need something that relaxes us. You can turn off your brain if it's been stressful. And, you know, just the repetitive motion, it just kind of is relaxing. So whatever that is for you, if that's working on the car, if that's fishing, if it's doing laundry, if it's cleaning, whatever makes you relax, that's good, because life is hard enough, all right? So we're just cutting our cherry tomatoes in half. The recipe says a cup. I've eyeballed it. If you like tomatoes, do more of them. If you don't like tomatoes, I guess you could do mushroom. You could do peppers. Our spaghetti squash that's in the oven is going to be our noodle bowl. So think of angel hair pasta, whatever you would make in your angel hair pasta. So maybe a nice, I don't know, scampi sauce, Alfredo sauce. Mushrooms sound good? Yeah, I have some mushrooms in there. Daydreamer says, how do you cut your spaghetti squash? So I just did that. I'll explain it again. If you can see them, they're in the oven lengthwise. And what we did to be safe, because our spaghetti squash is about like the size of a small eggplant. This one, I don't know if this one's, is this one okay? It's a little squishy. What I did, I saw this online. It's actually in the comments of this video, and this is Cooking with Kiona. So we stood it up. We cut the stem off, just like you would cut off the top, and then we turned it flat side down so you have stability. And then with a sharp knife, I went straight down the middle. Thank you for the love. Yeah, it is very hard to cut, so you want to be careful. Anytime you're cutting something that's wobbly, like these little tomatoes, you see I'm holding them by excuse me, by hand, but these give really easily. The skin on your squash is going to be really hard, and so you just want to make sure you have a stable surface. All right, everybody, so we have cut approximately a cup of cherry tomatoes, and we have, she said half an onion, I did a whole onion because I like more. Again, we cut them ourselves, but use whatever you have. We're using fresh ingredients, but I'm sure in a pinch you could do this with frozen or even canned. Use what you have, right? Okay, so let's continue on, everybody. We made it to 32,000 likes. Thank you, everybody. Let's see if we can get to 35,000. Welcome. This is Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie the Substitute Teacher, and we are making spaghetti squash bowls. This recipe and all of our recipes are on foodtalktv.com or on your favorite Amazon device. All right, let's go. We just did this part.
When you're finished, set the cherry tomatoes and diced onions to the side until you're ready to use them.
Okay.
Next, cut one spaghetti squash in half.
I'm going to fast forward through this part because we've already done it. And this is another way to cut it, and we scooped out the middle. So if you missed that,
when you're finished, place this olive oil on both halves of the squash.
We oiled it, and then we seasoned it.
Now season the squash over, and then use a fork to poke holes into the squash.
That's why your squash is upside down.
To finish, place the squash in the oven at 400 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes.
All right, so we're in the oven. Let's keep going. All right.
While the squash is in the oven, we're going to make the sauce. In a pan over medium heat, add olive oil.
Okay, so now we're actually ready to cook the inside. And if you all are just coming in, this is the goal. All right, so we have our spaghetti squash cut lengthwise in half, roasting in the oven. So now we're about to make the filling. All right. So thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie on Food Talk TV. I'm Maggie, the substitute teacher. So we're done with the cutting board. Now we're going to get the stove top and we're going to get a skillet so we can actually make the pasta sauce, I guess is what you would call it. So to me, this is very fun and exciting. All right, so let me bring my cooktop over here so everyone can see. We have our onion and tomatoes here. Let me just move these out of the way. Oh, let me take this out of the fridge. I forgot to take it. Okay. So she says, I'm just going to turn this on like a medium low because my cooktop gets hot pretty quickly and we can always turn it up. And then she drizzles some olive oil. Or honestly, you can use any oil of your choice, but we did use olive oil on the squash inside the oven. So let's go ahead and use the same oil here. All right. Come on in, everybody. We made it to 35,000 likes. Thank you. Hello, Trini's in the house. Thank you for being here. We got so many real cooks on Food Talk TV. There's live cooking content every day of the week, multiple times a day. Hold on one second. You okay, Dad?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I need to finish my stream, okay?
Oh,
okay.
Go ahead. I'm going to sit down.
Okay. Dad is here. Live cooking content every day of the week, multiple times a day, except for Sundays is for special guests. All right, so let's put some olive oil in here. So we're just going to drizzle. Maybe a tablespoon. All right. Let's see what else she does. I'm excited, y'all. I think this looks good if you're just coming in. All right, go on in. Okay, Dad. All right, so let's pick up where we left off, everybody.
Okay. I'll be right out in a second.
Okay, do you need a blanket?
No, really.
You're okay? All right.
I'm just going to use the rest of the briefly.
All right, can you use the one over there? Do you remember where it is?
We're going to make the sauce. In a pan over medium heat, add olive oil.
We just did that.
Then place 1 pound of ground turkey in the pan.
Okay. Mandy says, how often do I go live? So I'm with you all Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. So I am Maggie, the substitute teacher on all platforms. Having a little struggle with my YouTube channel, but I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. I still want to call it Twitter. All right, so we've got our oil ready, and then she says 1 pound of ground turkey. So with you all on TikTok, I'm here once a week on Fridays, but there's cooking content before and after me. So we have some ground turkey here. This is just 1 pound of ground turkey. I'm going to open this over the sink, And then we're going to put it in the pan. Alright, just going to cut into that. And we're using ground turkey because that's what she used in her recipe. You could also do ground chicken. I have a helper, yeah, Grandpa's here. You could do ground chicken, you could do ground pork, ground beef, Italian sausage, whatever you like. That smells so good when it hits the hot oil. Yeah, but I'm telling y'all, everything happens here, whether it's me or the kids or you see it all. All right, so we're gonna break that up and we're gonna let that brown and let's see what she seasons it with. All right, so I'm just gonna break this up. Come on in, everybody. We're at 40,000 likes. Thank you all so much. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I am Maggie the Substitute Teacher. Let me get a little spoon holder. And today we're making spaghetti squash bowls. So we just put a little bit of olive oil, serious sizzle. I know, isn't that the best? All right, let's see what she seasons it with.
Break up the ground turkey and season it. The seasonings I used were seasoned salt, pepper,
Salt, pepper,
onion powder, garlic powder, and Creole seasoning.
Okay, so I think for her recipe, if you want the actual amounts, we're just gonna eyeball it. She does a 1/4 teaspoon of everything. That's kind of light for me. I'll show you all a 1/4 teaspoon, but I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. And we like to season until there are no more bald spots, all right? Fran Diego says the sound is a little far away. Maybe you go out and come back in, but it might be the fan on the stovetop as well. So let me know if everybody else can hear. I don't want to mess it up. So we're going to go in with some salt, pretty generous. Ground turkey is leaner and it doesn't really have a lot of flavor on its own, so you want to make sure you season it well. And then we had some pepper, just regular old black pepper. Debbie can hear fine, thank you, darling. All right, so we have 4 out of our 5 again. So if you're noticing, these are the same spices. I'm just gonna go in pretty liberally with the pepper. These are the same spices that we used for the spaghetti squash. Onion powder. And that's good because you're building your flavor in every layer, all right? That way when you make the perfect bite, thank you, Liz, when you make the perfect bite of garlic powder, you get that same flavor, not only in your ear, but in every bite, all right? And then she said she also added Creole seasoning. Now she had seasoned salt. I don't have seasoned salt, I don't think I do. Maybe I do somewhere. But I haven't used this in a while. We got some Creole seasoning, so we're gonna use some of this. All right, so her recipe called for 1/4 of each one. I'll show y'all what I even have. This is a 1/4 teaspoon. I mean, it's literally that small. I like to go in pretty liberally with the seasonings, all right? My mom says taste as you go, but obviously this is raw poultry, so you want to make sure that it's completely cooked. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. It smells good. Come on in, everybody. We're at 42,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 4,500. Welcome. This is Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I am Maggie the Substitute Teacher, and we are making spaghetti squash bowls, all right? So we're making kind of like, I would probably call it like an Alfredo type sauce, but I have a couple substitutes that I'm going to use. Have I ever made this before? No. Has that ever stopped us? No. All right. This could be a great meal prep option as well. All right, so let's do this. Let's put the top on it, retain some of that heat, and let it cook, and then we're going to see what she does next. All right, so if you're just coming in, this is the goal. We're making the filling that's going to go inside our spaghetti squash. All right, come on in, everybody. We're at 43,000 likes, almost at 45,000. All right, so let's pick up where we left off.
The seasonings I used were seasoned salt, pepper,
Pepper.
onion powder,
Onion powder, got that flavor in your ear.
garlic powder,
Mm-hmm.
and Creole seasoning.
So we'll taste it once
Once you've finished
everything's done.
seasoning the ground turkey, continue to cook it until it has browned.
Okay. Especially with poultry, you want to make sure you cook it all the way through. We don't want any more pink spots. That's why I put the lid on there. Come on in, everybody. We made it to 45,000 likes. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie the Substitute Teacher.
Once the ground turkey has been, and set it to the side.
Okay, so let's take it out of the pan because we're going to use the pan to cook some other goodness. All right, I'm just breaking it up and I'm looking. My mom taught me to cook with all of my senses. Don't just set it and forget it, okay? Use your eyes. Make sure you don't see any more pink. Smell it. I love the way it smelled when we added those spices to the heat and the oil. We're gonna taste it now that it's done. Listen as it cooks, you know. Really get in there with your food. All right, so our ground turkey, and I like to give it a shake, looking for pink. I think our ground turkey is done, so I'm gonna get a tasting spoon. We're gonna taste it and then take it out and then we'll continue, all right? Come on in, everybody. Welcome. This is Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie, the Substitute Teacher. We are making spaghetti squash bowls. Woo! It's very seasoned. I like it. We're going to add some other stuff to it to kind of mild it down. Let me turn the temperature down. Let's take the meat out. All right. If you're new at cooking, and we all mess up, it might be a little salty, but honestly, I'm okay with it. If you're new at cooking, you can measure. She said 1/4 teaspoon of everything. I just kind of eyeball it. Since we're doing like an Alfredo sauce, that saltiness and the cream I think will go well together. Come on in, everybody. We're at 48,000 likes. Let's see if we can make it to 50,000 likes. Welcome. This is Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie, the Substitute Teacher. I'm going to lift this up and get all this goodness out. We want to get all of our ground turkey out, but we're going to keep this pan. All that flavor that's in there, all that goodness that's in there, we're going to keep cooking. I used to toss that away, but it adds so much flavor to all the other stuff. So this was 1 pound. Y'all, I knew that Creole seasoning would get me. That's why I don't really use it that much, but you could do a Cajun seasoning or any kind of all-purpose seasoning that you like. All right, just about done. Okay, so we got our ground turkey. I'm just gonna put this behind me, and I'll just put a little struggle lid on it so it doesn't escape too much heat. Okay, let's see what she does next. Whew. That's all you use, ground turkey? Yeah, if you need to watch cholesterol, I'm not a doctor, but this is a lighter option for you if you
Then,
want.
if needed, add a bit more olive oil in the pan and then add your diced onions.
Okay. So I'll add a little bit of oil. I don't really think you need it, especially if you're trying to be lower with fat and calories. You could do like a cooking spray. I'm just going to put like a splash with all those ground turkey juices. And then let me turn this up. 1 second, y'all. I got to blow my nose. 1 second. And we're going to put the onion in there. Oh. Okay. I'm a woman of a particular age, so I have my struggle of air conditioning in front of me. And so it's blowing on my face. And when I season, sometimes it comes right up at me. Okay, let's add our onion. I'm gonna do the whole thing. I like onion, and I think extra veggies The recipe says half an onion, but extra veggies are a great way to add fullness without extra calories. I'm looking at the screen like, why can't I read it? Of course, I don't have my spectacles on. So we're gonna get all of this onion in here. If you're following the recipe, which I am not, it would have been a half an onion, but I had a whole one. All right, so let's brown these onions. Let's clean as we go. Let me rinse this out and rinse the blade. All right. I know y'all are, I think that's a laugh. Oh, y'all are clapping. Come on in, everybody. Welcome. Let me turn it down. Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie the Substitute Teacher. We're just gonna brown these onions and then let's see what else she does. And I'm not gonna season anymore because I felt like the turkey was seasoned pretty well. So let's see what she does next. Come on in, everybody. 52,000 likes. Thank you. All right. So we're gonna let these kind of sweat down. This struggle recipe, as well as all my struggle recipes, are on foodtalktv.com. So we're getting a nice little brown on them. I'm gonna put the lid on just to let them soften a little bit. And let's see what she does next, all right? Again, this is the goal. We're gonna try and make these spaghetti squash bowls. If you're new here, or if you're just joining us, so let's pick up to the onions in the pan.
Saute the onions for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
Then add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic.
Oh my God.
And the sliced cherry tomatoes.
Hold up. We didn't mince any garlic. Let me turn this down. I missed a step. I told y'all. I think I have some fresh garlic that we can mince really quickly. I'm always forgetting something, y'all. So there's a tablespoon of garlic. Hold the phone. We forgot something. I think I have some fresh garlic. Yes. Oh. Now you could use garlic. Y'all, I got a little struggle nub here. Let's see what we can get into. Let me just move everything. And I've turned this all the way down to 1, and I'll leave the top off. And we're gonna add the garlic and tomatoes. See if I can get in here pretty quickly. It's always something, y'all. Always something, always. All right. So welcome, this is Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie the Substitute Teacher. Let's see, oh my gosh, these what are they called? Cloves are so janky and so small. I should have ordered a fresh one, but we're gonna make the most of it, all right? We're taking the paper off. We have these small slivers. Let's see if I can get a tablespoon. I'd probably say is what, like 3 or 4 of these. I'm gonna go for the big ones. There are hardly any big ones. Oh my goodness. You could probably also do garlic paste if you don't have fresh garlic. And I'll show you all the garlic paste and the minced garlic that you could use as a substitute. But if I do have fresh, I try to give you all fresh. All right, I don't even know if this is a tablespoon. We'll kind of measure it. A little bit of garlic goes a long way. This is 3 struggle cloves, and we're gonna toss them in that onion, and then we'll add our tomatoes. Since I did a whole onion, I probably should do some extra garlic, but welcome. Come on in, everybody. We made it to 55,000 likes. Thank you. Let's measure this and get it in there. This is Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie the Substitute Teacher. We are making a struggle spaghetti squash bowl. I think my measuring spoon is in the dishwasher yet. I don't think this is a tablespoon. No, I need to cut some more. This is what we have. All right, let's do 3 more. Oh, goodness. I took a look at our squash inside the oven and it looks like it's browning around the side, so that's exciting. Let's do 3 more struggle garlic. You've never made a squash bowl before? Yeah, this is spaghetti squash. You see them in the produce section and sometimes you're like, spaghetti squash, what is that? But we are making a spaghetti squash bowl. If you like pasta, but maybe you're gluten-free or trying to be low carb or lower calorie, you know, I'm not a doctor, don't listen to me. But this could be an option for you. Oh my goodness, my struggle. Oh, thank you all so much for all of the support. Welcome to another struggle cooking class. We're just gonna do these other 3 little nibs. Oh my goodness, thank you, y'all. I have no idea what's going on, but I appreciate it. You bake those all the time? Yeah, if you like veggies that are hands off, you know, that oil and the seasoning and the heat of the oven, if you have 45 minutes to an hour, just let them rest. They actually have a natural sweetness that comes through. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in and just call it, whoa, lost some. All right, so that was our struggle garlic. Let me turn this back up and bring it so you all can see. And we're gonna add the tomatoes as well. All right, so let's get a little bit of sizzle going on. Oh my gosh, y'all, the garlic in with the onion smells so good. I meant to taste the onion just for seasoning because I didn't add anything to it. Oh yeah. All right. So she says add the garlic and the tomatoes. So we have some cherry tomatoes we cut in half. I'm gonna go ahead and let me give the garlic a little bit of love. We don't want it to burn, but we can definitely smell it opening up. And then these are cherry tomatoes cut in half. All right, let's see what she does, y'all. Let's see what she does next. Smells so good. And if you don't like onions, use peppers. If you don't like tomatoes, use mushrooms. Use whatever veggies you like in your pasta.
Then saute everything together for about 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Once you finish sauteing your veggies, add 5.3 ounces of boursin garlic and herb cheese and 2 cups of heavy cream.
Okay. Just want to check on Grandpa, y'all. Okay, so I think this has been a minute. Now she said add boursin cheese. Let me turn this down. I didn't order boursin cheese, but what I do have is feta cheese. Y'all remember that viral feta pasta that was going around? I was like, this could be a substitute for that. So let me show you all what I'm going to use. Boursin cheese is like the spreadable, like garlicky, herby cheese. You could probably also do goat's cheese. This is a goat's milk. Oh, this one is goat's cheese. Oh, okay. This is Greek feta. I think these came from Aldi. And then we have this one, a sheep's milk cheese. So I'm gonna put just a block of feta in here, and then I'll show you what I'm using for the cream. So when I say dairy-free, I have to avoid cow dairy. I can have goat's milk products. I can have sheep's milk products. What is this? Ah, yes, sheep's milk. Authentic feta, and this one is 100% natural from Greece. Authentic feta is made from sheep's milk, so that's what I was looking. This one is sheep's milk. You can do the cow milk one as well. All right, so you can see the feta is in like a saltwater brine solution. So I'm just gonna cut like a quarter of this. Oh my gosh, our timer is up. Focus, Maggie. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in the middle, and this is going to be my substitute for boursin cheese. Now, is this as herby and creamy? No, but if you don't have boursin, Maybe this is a substitute for you. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm just going to use the, oh, wow. Oh, they come in like big break. I'll do like half of a brick. Okay. And then she says, do 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Let me taste this. So good. It's salty. It's hard, but it's creamy. If you like a nice spinach pecan salad, oh, with like apples and cranberries and all those fall flavors, crumble some of this on there. Oh my goodness. Focus, Maggie. Okay, so that's what I'm using. This is Krinos. This is Greek feta. That's what I'm using. The recipe calls for Boursin cheese, which I think is going to be creamier. And then she says 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. So you can use your regular heavy whipping cream, but I also got this from Aldi. They make a dairy-free, a plant-based heavy whipping cream. I think this is a coconut cream. And this is 16 ounces. So I'm going to pour the whole thing. So this is how we're going to make our Alfredo sauce. Ruby says, do you portion it out? I probably should. I just kind of eyeballed it. I know the Boursin cheese is about like that size, so I was just kind of eyeballing it. All right. So I am adding the whole thing of heavy whipping cream. I feel like this is too much, but she did say 2 cups, so I'm putting the whole thing. You could probably do less and make it lighter. All right. Let's see what happens next. Now I'm nervous. But this is my dairy-free heavy whipping cream. If you can have dairy, have some for me, all right? But just giving you all some substitutes. All right. I'm sure we need to stir this up. Let's see what she does. So this is her Boursin cheese. You hate feta? You wouldn't use feta cheese. You could also use goat's milk cheese, or just follow the recipe and use Boursin cheese. I'm just a substitute teacher, but do whatever works for you. All right, let's see what happens next.
Next, break the cheese apart, then mix it in with the heavy cream until the cheese has completely melted.
Okay, so let's see if we can get this from being chunky to being smooth. So it's bubbling up already. So I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna give this a stir. Remember, in here we had onions, we had garlic. Whoa. We had, turn it up a little bit. We had onions, we had garlic, we have cherry tomatoes. Honestly, I probably would have done about half as much heavy whipping cream, but the recipe does call for 2 cups, all right? I know it did melt quick. I've got this on medium. Smells good. I'm just using the spoon to kind of break up the chunks of the cheese, and then I will give it a taste and see what it tastes like. And again, if you don't like a white sauce, do a red sauce, maybe a butter garlic sauce, like a scampi sauce. Okay, I need to go check on I'm sure our spaghetti squash is done. I'm just gonna use the back of the spoon and kind of mash this in here. All right. So we're giving this a try for the first time, and then you can doctor it up how you like it. All right, let me give this a taste. So we've got feta, we've got tomato, we've got onion, garlic. Oh, it's good, y'all. I thought it was gonna be like overly heavy, creamy. It's not. We're gonna let that simmer just a little bit. I'm getting excited now. Let's see what comes in next. Aw, thank you for tapping the screen. Y'all, we made it to 60,000 likes. Wow, y'all are doing great tonight. Thank you. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. If you're just coming in.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make
This is the goal. We're trying to make this spaghetti squash bowl. All right, let's go back to where we were. So we got our feta to melt, or you could use Boursin cheese or goat's cheese or cream cheese. You could use the garlic and herb cream cheese. You could use whatever you like. Heavy whipping.
Once the cheese is melted and everything is mixed together, add a 1/4 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese.
Ah, 1/4 cup of shredded mozz. Okay. Now I got another substitute for you you're not gonna like, but that's okay. You don't have to eat it. All right, so this is nice and soupy. So again, if you can have mozzarella, have some for me. I'm gonna show you all the substitute that I'm using to keep it dairy free. I get this from Whole Foods. It's goat style. It's real cheese, but it's made from goat's milk. So I'm going to use this as my mozzarella substitute. It's going to be whirling. All right, so we're going to add cheese. And I'm just going to turn that up a little bit so we'll get some character to this. I need to go take that spaghetti squash out. All right, so let's stir this up and let the cheese sauce. So far we have I was gonna say 3 cheeses, but no, one is a cream. Can you believe this is dairy-free so far? All right, let's see what's next. Elizabeth has a question, I'll answer for you.
Add a half a teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of pepper,
Salt, pepper.
a quarter teaspoon of garlic powder, a quarter teaspoon of onion powder, a quarter teaspoon of Creole seasoning, a quarter teaspoon of paprika, and a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes.
Okay, so we're gonna season it, but I'm gonna go really light. So I think Elizabeth had a question as far as goat's cheese. Is it the same as mozzarella? It's the closest substitute for me. Goat's cheese is gonna be more dry than cow dairy. So you won't get not as much moisture. You won't get that beautiful cheese pull, but it does melt and it will brown for us. So this is the substitute that I'm using. But if you can have mozzarella, please have mozzarella. All right, let me take these out, y'all, because it's been 40 minutes and we're gonna season this, but I'm gonna season it really lightly. So I'm just gonna take them out. We'll turn them over in a minute, but I think these look good because it's starting to brown. So again, you're noticing a pattern here. Salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, then she did some chili flake. Since I over seasoned the meat, I'm gonna go really light. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. This is why you taste as you go. You know what, I probably should taste this with the cheese in there. If you don't like a lot of seasoning and you like it kind of mild, a little pepper. You could keep it mild. A little garlic powder. These are the same seasonings that we put on our noodles and the same seasonings that we put in our ground turkey. So again, we're doing it light and then we'll taste it. My mom says, don't serve anybody anything you haven't tasted. And then if we need more, we can add more. All right, y'all, we're at 63,000 likes. Thank you. She said paprika. So let's get some paprika and some chili flake. All right. So far, we haven't used the paprika. You've never seen that feta before? Yeah, absolutely. The original, the authentic feta is soaked in a salt water, kind of like, I'll go a little heavier with the paprika because we haven't used it. Kind of like if you do a fresh mozzarella, like a burrata. If you ever do that, it's going to be in a salt water solution. And then some chili flake, okay? So you can go really light on this if you don't like it too spicy. And again, measurements, let me see. For those of y'all that like the measurements, yeah, it's a quarter teaspoon of everything, all right? So this is what we have, and we're gonna stir it up, all right? Stir it up, and then we're gonna give this a taste. And I don't know if y'all noticed, but when I'm talking to you and when I'm going to get spices, I turn the temperature down to a 1 or a 2. And then when I come back over here, I don't know if that messes anything up, but that way it doesn't burn or scorch or boil over. I'll turn the temperature down when I'm doing other things, and when I'm back to it, I'll turn it back up. All right. That's why, like my mom said, you don't just set it and forget it. What am I making? Hello, Just From Food. We are making spaghetti squash bowls. If you just hopped in, this is the goal. And so we have our spaghetti squash over here, over there. We'll take a look at that in a minute. All right. So we're making the filling. I'm going to give this a taste. We taste everything. Let me turn the temperature down. It's boiling, lava hot. So we have 2 different cheeses in here and cream, but all plant-based. I'm not a vegan. Nothing wrong with being a vegan. We are doing the turkey version. I just have to avoid dairy. So if you hear me, using plant-based options, that's why. For dairy. Oh, that's good. Oh, y'all, the garlic. I'm getting excited, y'all. I'm getting excited. You're cooking along. Ooh! Babs is doing this with real pasta.
Teaspoon
Absolutely.
of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of Creole seasoning, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika,
Oh, we didn't do the Creole.
and a 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes.
The
After mixing
fan.
in the seasonings, add 2 to 3 handfuls of spinach.
All right, so now we're putting some veggies in there. I love that you're cooking along and you're doing this with real pasta. This is going to be the spaghetti squash version. Y'all, that Creole seasoning gets you every time. But if you can have real noodles or you have extra noodles laying around, just make the sauce and then put it on top of the noodles that you have. All right, spinach, fresh spinach. So this is how you're going to get your veggies in. Where did I find this recipe? This is Cooking with Kiona. I'm making my substitutes, but the recipe is at foodtalktv.com. So this is a YouTube video. I did link it in my description, but Cooking with Kiona is the recipe creator. All right, so we're going in with fresh spinach. She said 2 to 3 handfuls. We like veggies over here, and spinach will wilt down nicely. So let me turn this back up. This is a great way to get veggies in, especially if you have picky eaters. Put it in the stuff they're already going to eat, all right? We made it to 64,000 likes. Come on in, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to stir that in.
Next, add the turkey meat back into the pan and mix everything together until well combined.
All right, we are at the end, y'all. I'm so excited. All right, so it's starting to bubble up again. Whoops. That's why we wear our beautiful aprons. It got me. So we're just going to get that spinach underneath the liquid, and it's going to wilt down. And this is why I wasn't too concerned about over seasoning the turkey meat, because we have this cream sauce, we have the spinach, we have tomato, we have garlic. I'm using fresh spinach, but if you have the frozen one, just pop that in the microwave and thaw it out, because it's going to wilt down the same anyway. All right, so this is what we have so far, looking good. You could stop here if you're doing the vegetarian version. You don't have to add the ground turkey, but we will. All right. So if you all were with me, we seasoned some ground turkey. This is a pound of ground turkey with all the same seasonings: salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. I think that was it. And Creole seasoning. All right, so we cook that down in the same skillet and just put it off to the side, let it stay warm. So now we're adding the ground turkey back in here. This could be Italian sausage. This could be ground beef. It could be ground chicken. It could be whatever you like. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is looking incredible. All right, so I think we're done. And we have some beautiful colors in here. Yes, it's Whisk Takers, WHISK on Facebook. If you like to cook, but you're not ready to go live in front of everybody, you can post your creations in there, your recipes, or whatever you're thinking, or leftover hamburger meat. Absolutely, Nicole. I think it's very colorful. Looking good?
When you're finished, set your sauce to the side.
Okay. Now
By now the spaghetti squash should be finished cooking, so we can move on to the next step.
All right, everybody. So I am very excited. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Hopefully you can hear me better now. I am going to do one quick stir, and then I'm going to taste it, put the lid on it, and put it behind us, and then let's prep our spaghetti squash bowls. But y'all, I think this looks beautiful. You could put this over regular pasta. We're going to do spaghetti noodles, but yeah. And your picky eaters would eat that because it's got so much flavor in it, and it's healthy. You could do half as much cream. You could do no oil. You could do cooking spray. Let me get a little tomato action going here. Just build a bite and see how we like everything. Oh my God, y'all, that is so good. It's got such a depth of flavor. I'm very happy. I didn't know how this was going to turn out. All right, the Creole got me again. So I'm going to take a quick bio break and then we're going to get our squash out. So our sauce is done. I'm just going to move this behind me for now. 1 second. Hopefully we're done with the seasonings. Whew. Oh, God. That Tony Shashiri Creole seasoning gets you every time. All right, let's bring our squash over and see how it looks. Okay, so we're done with the cooktop. I'm gonna move this out of the way and we're gonna bring our spaghetti squash over. We're at 65,000 likes, y'all. Let's see if we can get to 70,000. Y'all are tapping that screen today. All right. All right, let's not get fancy, Maggie. Let's get a towel. We don't need to do anything extra. Let me just clean up, y'all. We got a lot going on. I am very excited. I never know how these recipes are going to turn out. I just come on here with you all and say, let's do it together. And somehow it works. All right. So let's get our squash. I think this was in for a good 40 minutes. All right. So I can tell already, you can kind of see when I pinch it, like it's starting to give. And if you all remember, it was like solid as a rock, doom, 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 doom. It was really solid before. So she's gonna turn them over. Woo! We got some nice caramelization going. Why am I using my hands? Hold on, let's get a fork. They've been out for a minute, so they're not too hot. But look at the steam. Look at the steam that's coming off. So excited, y'all. So this is going to be our bowl. So she did 2, I did 4.
First, flip each half of the spaghetti squash over. Then use a fork to scrape the inside of the squash, creating spaghetti-like strands.
All right, so that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to do it on all 4 of them. This is a great meal prep. It's exciting, I know. Look at that flesh, y'all. Doesn't that look caramelicious? Is that a word? All right. I can't be looking at that. All right, so look, y'all. This looks so good. It's nice and caramelized. All right, so let's turn them over. And we didn't have a big puddle of water. I'm loving the browning on the side. I think that just adds so much character and flavor in your ear. Okay, so let me get some tongs. All right, I'm just gonna kind of hold this here and I'm using the spoon and I don't know if y'all can see. Can y'all see that? Yeah, this is why it's called spaghetti squash. So you just go on the side. Look how it's literally just flaking after we've cooked it. All right, so this is going to be our noodle and our bowl. All right, so if you cook them, and we roasted them for, I don't know, 40, 45 minutes in the oven while we were doing all this at 400. You could also do the microwave, but you know, the oven is probably best. And I'm gonna go all in there. This is just a vegetable, y'all, but it gives you the texture of a spaghetti noodle. And then I love that this the bowl is kind of like the basin. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of them. And again, this could be a great family night meal. Assembly meals, I think, are great because you can put whatever toppings or whatever you want on there. If you like a white sauce, you can use the sauce that we had. If you want to do a marinara sauce or a meat sauce, you could do that. But yeah, this just loosens right on up. Oh, I got a little seed. No problem. If I could tell y'all, it's so like buttery and like, it tastes like pasta noodles with butter because we olive oiled it. Let me get a clean fork because I tasted it because I'm greedy. All right, let's go in here. I'm so excited, y'all. And this again could be, you know, if you fill it up with the, if you fill it up with the good stuff, and that's the other thing because we cooked the whole squash like this, it's gonna stay warm for a while. It was sitting out there for like 10 minutes while we were doing the spinach and everything. But anyway, If you like buttered noodles, that's what it tastes like on its own. But it's got a nice little flavor. Okay, last one. Thank you all so much. Everybody come on in here. We made it. No, we're at 67,000 likes. Last one. Let's scoop this up. This is, as they say, as the kids say, so satisfying, right? Make sure everybody can see. And you see, I'm not even really using any effort, but the heat plus the oil. And you could use cooking spray if you want to be lighter. So if you're craving pasta, you could take it out and put it in a dish, or you could just serve it in here and eat everything except for the shell. One more seed. All right. Delicious. And just a vegetable. All right. So now you all have learned how to make spaghetti squash. What would you put inside here? What would you all fill it with? Meatballs, mozzarella. Okay, focus, Maggie. Oh, tell me this doesn't look good. Look at that beautiful gold. Oh, it's the little things. So we have our spaghetti squash bowls, and we did them lengthwise. You grew up eating this? You could also cut them crossways and do it like a basin. But this is giving you a little bit more surface area. And again, this is cooking with
Next,
Kiona.
pour a few scoops of the sauce into each half of the squash.
Oh, yeah, we made this with turkey. Now it's time to fill it. Okay, because I'm greedy, I'm going to I know we flaked it up, but I'm going to kind of pack down the spaghetti squash because I want a nice full bowl. That's not part of the recipe. That's just me being greedy. So we've loosened it up, but I'm going to kind of mash it down and make like a basin. Don't worry, when you go to get in there, it'll come all up because we separated it from the side, but I want it all. So I'm just using the back of the spoon to flatten it down after we've scooped it up. Don't worry, it's still spaghetti in there. All right. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm so excited. And again, this is the goal. All right, so let's go back to where we were. Now she says, put the sauce in here. Now I'm looking at it. Y'all, doesn't that look beautiful? I want a picture just of this. I'm sorry, it just looks beautiful. We haven't even done anything, but just these two together. It looks like we know what we're doing, don't we? We do not. We figure it out as we go. And it's the little things. Make me happy. All right, so we're gonna scoop this in here. Now the sauce that we have is a little bit on the saucy side. So I'm gonna get a slotted spoon so we can fill it up with goodness. All right, so I'm gonna get a slotted spoon. Let me move this over here. I'm right-handed. All right, everybody doing good? We're at 67,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 70. All right, so I'm just gonna bring this over and we are going to fill each one of our banana boats, our spaghetti squash boats. I'm gonna fill it, I'm gonna use the slotted spoon first, and then I'll get another spoon and spoon some of that goodness over there. But I wanna, y'all know, like when you go through the line, you don't wanna skimp on anything, right? You wanna make sure you get all that meat. You don't want it to be full of sauce. You okay, Dad?
Maggie,
Yes, Dad?
you ready?
Not yet. I'm almost ready, okay?
So I'll wait for how
Can you wait for like 10 more minutes?
long? Sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I can come and sit down in your seat here?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All
I
right.
sit in the Delta Airline Boys house.
Okay, Dad.
Okay, let me sit in the seat here.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
All right. Grandpa's with me today. Come on in, everybody. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie, the substitute teacher, and we are making It's the little things. Looks good. Yeah, you want to try this and make spaghetti squash? It is the little things.
Okay.
Absolutely.
No problem.
All right, so we're just filling this up, y'all. I'm using a slotted spoon.
As long as the Delta pilot melons seats.
Okay. Almost finished, Dad.
All right, take your time.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna get these as full as we can. Y'all, we have enough sauce, honestly, that you could have done like 4. Like if you're a meal prepper, or you could have done 3 squash in the sheet pan. You could do more and have your dinners for the week. So we will meal prep these. I'm just filling them up, y'all. I know we're team greedy over here. We want that to seep on down there and give us the good stuff. We made it to 68,000 likes. Come on, everybody. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie the Substitute Teacher, and we are making spaghetti squash bowls with ground turkey, spinach, tomatoes, garlic, onion. Okay, so far so good. I'm gonna switch the spoon now, just so you all can see what we.
Ooh, I'm seeing something.
You looks good.
Looks good.
Okay, so now we're gonna get another spoon and we're gonna just drizzle some of that sauce in there, so it doesn't dry out.
But your brother is eating in the house.
All right, so I'm just gonna add this on top.
Okay.
So it's gonna be nice and creamy. We're doing the dairy-free version of our spaghetti squash bowls. So I did slotted spoon at first to make sure we got it full with meat and goodness. This is gluten-free. Dad can't wait, y'all. Welcome to my struggle cooking class. Everything happens over here.
Okay.
All right. So I think we got these kind of nice and overflowing. Oh my gosh, y'all, this sauce is too good. Okay.
It looks good though.
I know, Dad. I'm coming.
I bet your brother is eating some good food.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is what we have.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going. See what's next. Almost done, y'all. So we scrape the sides. Looking good?
Next, pour a few scoops of the sauce into each half of the squash.
Mm-hmm. We did that. And I put some extra juice on there. I know. I'm gonna feed Papa. Don't worry.
Once you've added the sauce, mix everything together.
I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna skip that step because I like this presentation. But she says mix it together. We got a hungry. But looks
Then
good.
add shredded mozzarella cheese on top.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna put the goat's cheese on top, or if you can have mozzarella, use mozzarella. All right.
When you're finished, place the spaghetti squash back in the oven at 400 degrees for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Then cook up.
All right, so we're gonna put these in the oven so that the cheese can melt. I like this presentation, so I'm gonna keep it up on top like this, but she said mix it together. Let's get our goat's cheese. Here it is. You love squash? And even if you don't like squash, y'all would eat this. Like if I put this in front of you, you would eat this. Even if you're one of those that I don't like vegetables, you would eat this. Y'all here? I'm over here. So we'll make these and we'll take them to Nana as well and let them have some. But this is, again, this could be a great, if you do have elderly or anybody who's, sick or busy or whatever, this is a great like casserole that you could make in advance and they would just microwave this up and eat it. All right, so we're gonna put these back in the oven and you all will see my goat's cheese will melt, but it's not gonna be as ooey gooey as mozzarella, but we'll be fine. All right, so she says put them in the oven for 5 minutes. I left it at 400, so I'm gonna put it in here. All right, I'm gonna finish the video, y'all, so we can do the last steps so we don't waste any time. Yeah, we're gonna broil it, you got it.
Under the broiler for 3 to 5 minutes or until the top has browned.
Okay, 5 minutes
Once
and then we'll broil.
Once the squash is finished baking, take it out of the oven and sprinkle some parsley on top.
Okay. So she says sprinkle some parsley on top. I was thinking because this is like an Italian kind of dish, we can do parsley, but I was thinking basil would be really good. Did I buy parsley? Let's see. I did buy, no. Yeah, I did. All right. Since we got 5 minutes. Oh, this is cilantro. Oops. Hold on. I think we have parsley. We got some struggle parsley. Okay. I know all of your produce looks grocery fresh. I got some struggle parsley here. What do y'all think? I don't want to use this. I think some basil. Squash is looking at you. Basil would be better, right? Okay. Let's go ahead and clean up. Did I set the timer? No. Let's do 4 minutes. Okay.
You know what I'm smelling?
I know you're smelling it, Dad. Almost done. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean up everything. We're going to do 5 minutes in the oven and then like 3 minutes on the broiler. And then I have some basil here. I think that would be better. I will put this on top for color and a little flavor. I know. Okay, so yeah, y'all. So if you're just coming in, welcome. We are making these. We're almost done, our spaghetti squash bowls. So as I'm cleaning up, let me tell you all what we did. Cilantro would be good. Somebody says cilantro. You think so? Oh, we made it to 75,000 likes. Thank you, everybody. Come on in. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. Whoa. I'm Maggie the Substitute Teacher.
Wow,
And today we
that term. Substitute.
I know.
Remember that term.
I know. So we are making spaghetti squash, but oh, Parmesan would be good. Yeah. Do I have Parmesan? I don't think. I have some struggle Parmesan. I'll put a little bit on there. Now we're going extra, but I'll get some for y'all. 1 second. I have some struggle Parmesan. Do I have my pecorino? Oh, even better. Okay. If you can have Parmesan, have some for me. I don't know if Papa wants to be on camera. I'll ask him, but it's up to him. This pecorino romano, this is my Parmesan substitute, but this is made of made from sheep's milk cheese. So if you can have Parmesan, have some. But I love showing you all the substitutes that I use. All right, we made it to 77,000 likes. Thank you, everybody. Come on in. Welcome to Foodie Fridays with Maggie. I'm Maggie, the Substitute Teacher.
I remember that.
You remember?
I remember.
And we still have some sauce left over. So if you have zoodles, like zucchini noodles, you could use this for that. If you are like, when I used to cook for the boys or when I cook for the family, I'll make like a pasta dish and serve it over noodles for them. But I know, Mokto. Yeah, we're enjoying the last years. But you could do like a zoodles version for you or a spaghetti squash version for you. And then pasta, if you got growing boys, like y'all know, I'm Marine mom over here. All I do is cook and stand back. But for growing boys or men, but I think even your guys would like this dish. All right, so let's clean everything off. I'm gonna get a platter. We got 1 more minute and then we'll put it under the broiler and then we'll top it with a little bit of basil and pecorino romano. Take some pictures, take a taste, and we're done. All right. So let me clean the counter. I get nervous. Y'all know it's like when somebody's like ready to eat. It's like, ah. Okay.
I remember that term. Margaret, the Substitute Teacher.
That's me. Okay. All right.
Cranberry stuff in it.
I'm sorry?
Cranberry.
Cranberries?
Cranberry, yeah.
No, I didn't use cranberries tonight, Dad.
Cranberry?
No, I did spaghetti squash.
Okay.
When do I go live, Cindy? I'm with you all Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. 80,000 likes. Thank you all so much. We made it. I appreciate it. All right. Woo! Mom had, I know, I just hit my apron. Mom had an appointment, so I brought my dad with me so she could focus. My brother's with Mom and I'm with Dad, and we are just tag teaming the silver years.
Oh, yes.
Gilchrist is going to try it? Absolutely. All right, let me get a platter. Oh, almost done. And then we're going to move this under the broiler. So let me get my towel. Okay. So let's take it out. All right, I'll show you on my goat's milk cheese. Oh, God. So it's kind of melted, but we need to get that nice golden brown. I'm gonna move the shelf up just a little bit. Oof, careful, hold on. Okay, then we're gonna put I need to turn it on broil for like 3 minutes just so we can get some nice browning. And then we'll do the basil. You could do more cheese if you like, but y'all, this looks so good. And I know it's gonna taste good because we tasted it every step of the way. We tasted all the different layers as we were going, all right? So we're gonna put that in. Let me do it like this. Then we turn it off oven and we're gonna put it on broil. All right, for 3 minutes. Okay, so let me get a platter so we can plate.
Oh, you know something I forgot?
What's that, Dad?
Last one.
I know, 1 second. Okay.
Yeah. Can you talk to your mom right now?
No, I'm gonna call her after I'm done here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm wondering if this will hold all four. I was trying to see if I had a longer tray. Okay, so while we're broiling, we had two squash that we cut in half, scooped out the seeds, seasoned with oil, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, brushed all the oil and seasoned inside, turned it over, put it face down, poke the back, and then put these in the oven. Do you leave it open a little? Am I supposed to? I don't know. And then we cooked the squash for like 40 minutes while we made the sauce. The sauce is ground turkey. I used feta cheese. You could use Boursin cheese. We cooked the ground turkey, took it out, and we did onion, garlic, cherry tomatoes cut in half. I used feta cheese, which is sheep's milk, and I used plant-based heavy whipping cream. You can use regular. Then we melted that down, added a little bit of goat's cheese or mozzarella cheese inside. And then we added a couple handfuls of spinach and got a beautiful sauce. I think it's beautiful. So we still have extras of the sauce. You could probably even spoon this over a baked potato. Then when our squash was done, we took the squash out, flaked the spaghetti strands. Yeah, Dad has an accent. I was born in Ghana. My family's from Ghana. Then put the sauce inside the bowls, topped it with some cheese, and now we're broiling it. We're going to put some basil and a little pecorino romano, and we're done. All right, let's take a look. Let's see.
Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make the viral TikTok spaghetti.
I think we're done. We'll just check it.
Then add shredded mozzarella cheese on top.
Oh, thank you all so much for being here. Again, I'm Maggie, the substitute teacher. It's always another struggle cooking class, but we made it. I just keeping an eye on them.
When you're finished, place the spaghetti squash back in the oven at 400 degrees for 5 minutes.
This is where your
Then cook under the broiler for 3 to 5 minutes or until the top has browned.
Thank you, Tina.
Once the squash has finished baking, take it out of the oven and sprinkle some parsley on top.
This is where your mozzarella is going to get more of a golden color. You'll see my goat's cheese will still be a little bit more white, but mozzarella would be wonderful if you could have it.
And that's it. You're all finished making the viral spaghetti squash.
All right, our timer's done, y'all. So let's
And this is the finished result. This spaghetti squash is absolutely delicious.
All right, let's see. Okay. Let's bring these out. Okay. So we've had it under the broiler. Let's turn off the timer. All right. They're sizzling. Move over, bacon. Here comes sizzling. Where's my towel? Here it is. Let me get 2 of them, and I'll turn this off.
That's enough for the Lion King.
1 second, Dad.
Sure, take your time.
I don't know if y'all can hear. They're sizzling. It always turns out fine at the end. All right. All right. All right. It always turns out fine at the end. So now all we got to do, she put parsley on hers. I'm going to do basil on mine because I don't have any parsley. But I think because it's Italian flavors, some chopped basil would go nicely. So we're just going to put that on here.
Is your brother still home?
Yeah, he's with Mom, Dad. We're almost done.
Okay. I bet your brother's waiting to enjoy something.
I know. I'll give some to everybody. Okay. So we did the basil. So this is her finished product. And then you all want some Parmesan. So I'll give you some Parmesan. Absolutely. I think it looks good. So let me take a picture. This was the goal. And this is what we made. So I think we did it. As always, I think we did it. All right. All right. I'm going to move them over to the tray, take a picture, and then I'll do the Parmesan for y'all. All right. So I just want to get them to where I can plate it nicely so you all can see. All right. Oh my gosh, y'all, this looks so good. I wish y'all could see that. It looks perfect. All right. Oh, they're a little bit, let's see if I can put all 4 here. And I'll try and pack one. I'll eat that one. Let me just clean the tray. You know, when you're presenting, we eat with our eyes first. But these are going to be so good. All right. All right. Let me take a picture. Let me just move this out of the way. Let's take a picture for TikTok. And then I haven't forgotten your Parmesan cheese. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you fret. I ain't forgot about you yet. I think y'all would eat that. Okay.
I can tell.
You can tell?
I can really tell, Maggie.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a picture. I think I want to put some more basil like on the plate. All right. So this is the viral spaghetti squash. We have this with ground turkey, spinach, tomato. We have feta, dairy-free heavy cream, onions, garlic, topped with some basil and goat's cheese. Enjoy. Okay.
If your brother is there, can I get a bite of the
Of course you can get a bite, Dad. Yes. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. I know.
Like this.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Oh, wow. I'm so well covered.
You're feeling good?
Yes.
Okay, Dad. All right. So let me get y'all in here. I'm using the Pecorino Romano. This is like a nice salty dry cheese for those of y'all that like that. That's Papa speaking. Okay.
Put your brother online.
Okay, give me just a second, Dad. Last thing I'm gonna do, y'all, since somebody asked last week for the meal prep.
I need to get a bite from your
You want to
brother.
get a bite? Okay. I'm doing a live stream. Are you okay?
Yes.
You want to be on?
Yeah.
You want to taste it?
Absolutely.
Okay, Dad, come on.
All right.
All right, so this is my spaghetti squash. Y'all can meet Papa.
This is what I'm looking at.
You want to come over and say hello?
Yes, yes. Hello.
This is my dad, y'all.
Hello there, everybody.
You see yourself? You see yourself?
I sure do see
Okay,
it.
let me get a bowl. Let me get a plate. You can try it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, good.
It looks good. Oh, well, hold on. Let me help you. I don't want you to burn yourself, okay? It's hot.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Come on over here, and we'll let you taste it.
Oh, what? Just like Delta stuff.
I know. I know. Okay, everybody saying hi, Papa. Let me get you a fork, okay?
Okay, sure, I appreciate it.
All right.
Oh, this looks good. I
It
bet
looks
that's
good.
what your brother will be like.
Yeah, I'll take some home to Mom. And...
Oh, please do. Please do.
So you want me to put some on the fork for
just
you?
one on the fork.
Okay,
that's all.
Papa's gonna taste it, so you all can see everybody saying hello.
Hello, everybody. Is that Philip? Are you there?
No,
Is
Dad.
Mom there?
No, Dad. This is my TikTok channel. I'm on the internet. Okay. Now it's gonna be hot, so I want to cool it down.
Okay.
You okay to try it?
Appreciate it.
Okay, careful. It's good.
Phil, are you there?
No, Dad. This is the internet. No, I'll take some to Uncle Phil. But
Okay.
do you like it?
I want to see him there.
Yeah, but do you like it?
I do.
It tastes good? You want some more?
I'll do some more.
Some more? Okay, we'll do one more and then I'm going to let everybody go.
Yeah.
Papa likes the spaghetti squash, y'all, with all the veggies and everything. All right, let me get a little tomato for you.
That's it.
Careful. Yummy? Okay,
Very good.
Papa.
Phil, are you there?
Okay, no, Dad. Phil's not there. Okay, everybody. So thank you all. Everybody's saying hello. Papa could get his own. Yes. So thank you all so much. We made the spaghetti squash. You all can see. And I love this because the spaghetti squash is the bowl. All right. So you could put these in a container, a meal prep. Let me see if I can get them out really quick. So for your meal prep, I'll do one. Oh, goodness. For those of you all who are cooking for the week, this was actually really easy. And you have them. And I think this would microwave up really, really good. Okay. And since it's a vegetable, it's not going to dry out.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. It's not going to dry out like, let me just rinse these off. Like noodles will. Do you want some more?
Just a little bit more. I just want your brother to see me eating.
Oh, okay. We'll do one more.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So.
Because I see this in the house a lot of time when your mom is cooking.
Yeah. So your meals are ready for the week. And you can take that with you and go. So we're going to do one last bite for Papa, and then we're going to let you all go.
That's right.
So it's got vegetables. It has spinach. It has turkey. It has everything good in here.
Oh, good.
I don't think I took a bite. All right, come on over, Papa. We'll make sure Uncle Phil sees this. Okay. Oh, Papa's ready.
Phil, are you here?
He's not here, Dad. It's okay. It's okay. Let me take a bite for you all. Okay. So I'll be with you all. Oh, next week we're going to do, we're at 95,000 likes. Let's see if we can get to 100,000 before we go. I will be back with you all next week. Next week we're going to do the big game snacks. So if you all, I don't know, what am I making? I don't know, but we'll give it a try. Please tap the screen on your way out. Again, this recipe.
Okay. So your brother is not ringing here, right? Not yet?
But that's okay. I'll make sure Uncle Phil sees.
That's what I want him to be seeing.
I know. We'll show him. So I'll be back next week, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Thank you all so much. We're at 97,000 likes.
Yeah? Oh, wow.
So again, a little more? Of course. Papa's asking for more, y'all. So this is good. And he's one of those, my mom is always sneaking vegetables in. So I think this says a lot. We're just kind of getting in there, give him a little bit of everything. That Papa's asking for more. 99,000 likes, y'all. All right, come on, Dad.
Phil, are you there?
He's not here, Dad.
Oh, not yet.
Okay. Oh, we made it to 100,000. All right, everybody. See you all next week. Hello, New Zealand. Yes, he loves it. I'll actually be in Australia this summer. All right, everybody. I'm Maggie, the Substitute Teacher. Find me on all platforms. My YouTube is having a little bit of struggle, but hopefully I'll get it resolved soon, and I will see you all next week. All right, everybody. Thank you all for the support. You want to say goodbye, Dad? You want to say goodbye? Over here? Say bye, everybody.
Is that your brother there?
No, Dad. That's not.
Still not yet?
Not yet. All right. Bye, everybody.